Okay, so Nutanix Enterprise Cloud Administration. So previously we were using on-premises Nutanix, but nowadays Nutanix has integrated with AWS Cloud and Azure Cloud. So the reason why people are moving, every company wants to move to Nutanix. The main reason is higher charges on licensing. So since Broadcom has purchased this VMware company, they are charging double, triple, more license costing, and that is the reason customer don't want to continue with VMware, and they want to migrate their infrastructure to Nutanix. Every organization has decided to move to Nutanix because Nutanix has that much capability. You can easily integrate with the cloud, and you can upgrade, you can shift and lift easily to the cloud, and you run your infrastructure in a lesser price. That is the main reason. In my company also, we are also migrating from the VMware to Nutanix. Past, I have about me, I have total 13 years of experience. Currently, I am working is in a US based company, and I have more than 6 years of Nutanix experience. Currently, I am working as L3 system admin role, and my work mostly on VMware, vSAN, Nutanix, NSX. These are the technology I am working on. So basically, see, Nutanix is a hyperconverged infrastructure. As you know, the difference between hyperconverged and converged infrastructure. So our VMware is a converged infrastructure, and also UCS also converged infrastructure, where your network, your storage are located in a different place. But the main difference in Nutanix is the storage, networking, all the component, RAM, CPU, everything reside inside the box that is called Nutanix box. Okay, so all these boxes are having their own CPU, RAM, their switches, network switches, NIC, everything inside the boxes. So created, they have clubbed together all these boxes together, and they make as a cluster. And the main difference is high rate of HA, high availability, and fault tolerance. Whenever, suppose, in a you have some like storage, or you have some like network. If the network failed, your entire infrastructure will be failed in normal VMware infrastructure, right? So in Nutanix, if in one box, if suppose CPU fail, VNIC fail, or storage fail, there is redundancy, like storage redundancy, the hardware redundancy. So if anything failed, so your infrastructure will not be like go down. It will be keep running as it is. You can There is a like redundancy factor you need to set. In redundancy factor, replication factor, you need to learn about replication and redundancy factor. I will cover those things later, but try to understand what is the difference between like normal traditional infrastructure and HCI infrastructure, hyper converged infrastructure. This is the main difference, that box having all the component, your storage, your networking, your CPU, RAM, everything inside the box of Nutanix. And this Nutanix box having the operating system called AOS, Acropolis operating system, that is managed. It is like same like your ESXi. In ESXi, it is a operating system which interact your storage, your hardware, bare metal to your virtual machine, right? In Nutanix, we have AOS. AOS, it's talk to directly CVM. CVM is like controller virtual machine. Every Nutanix box has its own CVM, and these CVM are managing all these boxes. Whatever process running inside the Nutanix, it is managed by CVM. So CVM, what CVM will do? It will create the storage pool. It will create the network pool, storage container, and the process running inside the Nutanix. So each box, it will have its own CVM. CVM is nothing but the virtual machine. Okay. So this CVM will manage all the process running inside the Nutanix. You understood? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay. Fine. So what we are covering here is like managing Nutanix cluster, how to secure your Nutanix, how to give privileges, how to like manage, update, patching, Nutanix boxes. There are each and every component you can update through LCM. LCM is nothing but your update manager. In our VMware, we have update manager. In Nutanix, it is called LCM. But update manager, you update a limited thing, like you update your ESXi host or other vCenter server, right? But in Nutanix, we have LCM. LCM can be used to update for software update, hardware update, operating system update. Every component, whatever running on the Nutanix, you can update through LCM. Okay. And the storage container, all these things are managed by your CVM. If suppose CVM failed, what will happen? So it is same like your cluster. In VMware, we have cluster, right? Each cluster, it has like HA, HA agent is installed. HA agent talk to HA primary and secondary. Nowadays it is called primary. Previously it is called master and slave. So previously it is called master. So it will interact master and one host goes down. So it will migrate all virtual machine to other host. But here, if the CVM goes fail, so this host will be managed by the other CVM. Okay. So till the CVM get up and running, other CVM will do its this box work, or all the processes are managed by other CVM till the CVM gets up. If suppose VM this host goes down, VM will automatically move to other host. It is same concept like your VMware, but here the good thing, we have CVM to manage the process. There are some automation thing you can do your automation. If the virtual machine taking too much CPU space, RAM, uh, at particular time period of time, so you can do your automation work on this particular host. So automation thing you can apply through Nutanix console. Okay. And these Nutanix boxes are managed by Prism Central. So Prism Central and Prism Element, these are the console. In VMware, we have vCenter. vCenter is act as a management console. Here in Nutanix, Prism Central or Prism Elements act as a central management tool to manage your virtual machine, your cluster, your storage controller, networking, load balancing, LCM, NCC update, everything you can manage through Prism Central and Prism Element. The difference between Prism Central and Prism Element is the Prism Central is used for multiple cluster and Prism Element is used for one particular cluster. If suppose you have 4 node cluster and your company is managing, So you no need to use the Prism Central. You can do all your work through Prism Element. But the Prism Central, why we need Prism Central? If you correlate with VMware, you'll understand we have like vCentral link mode, right? In vCenter link mode, what happened? So all the vCenter are connected to each other and you can manage centrally all the data center, right? Here, same like if you want to manage multiple data center, multiple cluster, you can manage through Prism Central. The console will remain the same. Everything remain the same. You can do setting, you can patch, update, managing VM, everything will be same in Prism Central and Prism Element. But Prism Central is used to manage multiple cluster and Prism Element manage is used to manage only one cluster. Okay. So what we are managing, we will be covering in this course, like managing Nutanix cluster. In the managing Nutanix cluster means how you can deploy the cluster setting, cluster status, installation. I will covering Nutanix installation. If you have laptop with 32 GB of RAM, I will give you the steps. You can easily install the Nutanix on your laptop and you can minimum like you can do your work like VM management, health checkup, storage kind of thing you can manage. You can run the command, some like troubleshooting command, cluster status, and cluster shutdown, cluster like reboot the cluster. All this thing, troubleshooting step, NCC check, all this thing I will provide in this practical. Okay, so our lab environment, like I have server where I will be covering your basic VMware concept. What is VMware? So everyone is not aware about VMware. So initial 1 or 2 day I will give you the differences. VMware, and on top of VMware, we will going to deploy the Nutanix. 3 node, see, 1 node cluster Nutanix, 3 node cluster Nutanix. So Nutanix having the in box level, it will having the varieties of version like NX3060, so NX8035, NX8035. So these are the version of like different types of version in Nutanix boxes. So the if you have like small infrastructure, you will buy the small storage, small memory, small CPU. You will buy this Nutanix boxes. If you have bigger infrastructure, like you will require uh, 10 TB of RAM, mm, um, like more than 50 TB of storage, SSD. So main difference and the main difference in Nutanix, we are running the SSD. We are not running the HDD or other storage. Here in Nutanix, we are running the SSD, and that is the reason it gives high performance whenever you're running your enterprise uh, application, like business application. You have Oracle, you have SQL, all these business application you are running on top of Nutanix, and it require high performance. Why? Why we require high performance for enterprise application? Because you are charging too many like bugs on your SQL, on your Oracle core based, right? If your process goes slow, you need to charge too many core. You need to buy another core. If you purchase like suppose you purchase SQL enterprise application, data center edition SQL, and you have like 40 core of processor and you are running the same infrastructure on VMware. That is like traditional infrastructure, SSD, flash, you are running your infrastructure, but it is somewhere it is slowing your processes and it require more core to process your SQL queries. But if you are using Nutanix, so it will give high performance and it does not require that much of core. Here also you will save a lot of cost on your core based application, like wherever, like if you are using Oracle or SQL Server, if you are using, so you can save that cost on Nutanix. So main reason is your license cost on VMware, license cost on your enterprise application, high performance, and it is easily integrated with your cloud base. And the last one is you can easily automate your task. Some particular time you want to automate your task, you can do your automation on the Nutanix. So in Nutanix, networking will be covering, so switches, network switches, subnet, how to create subnet, how to create VNet, all these things we'll be covering in network model. VM management, like creating VM, clone, template, upgrade, vdisk, ADF, replication factor, all these things we'll be covering in uh, VM management. And I have not mentioned here the like installation migration thing, I have not listed here, but we will be covering migration from, like if you want to migrate your VMware infrastructure virtual machine from a VMware to Nutanix, we have a tool called Nutanix Move. Fro- Using that Nutanix Move, you can easily migrate your virtual machine from VMware to Nutanix, and vice versa. If you want to downgrade from Nutanix to VMware, you can do also, by using the same tool. You can use, like previously you need to take all the snapshot, convert it into VMDK to vdisk, and then you can deploy all virtual machine to Nutanix. So this is about migration, AHV to ESXi and ESXi to AHV. We will covering this part. Health monitoring, alerting system. If you want to make your custom alert, like if the CPU is high CPU, high memory, cluster down, VM hung state, all these issue you can monitor and you can configure your own alert. We will be covering alert, how to monitor alert, how to set up automation on the alert. We will be covering distributed storage fabric. What is that distributed storage fabric? Inside this, every storage having some SSD. So all this SSD we will create as a storage pool. Uh, on storage pool, we will create a storage container, volume, and VDs. All these things, how we can manage, I will cover. AHV workload migration, as I told you, ESXi to AHV, AHV to ESXi, I'll be covering. The service model, business model, how many model we are using, what is the difference between each model, how to identify the model, and the serial number, and how to get the support from the Nutanix. If the issue is, if you are not able to solve the issue by L3 level, you need to raise a case with Nutanix in certain cases. Okay, data protection, indoor data protection, what we will be covering? We'll be covering how to create your backup retention policy, uh, eh, your data deduplication, compression, uh, and migrating your backups to other cloud like AWS cloud or Azure cloud. We'll be covering in data protection. Prism module, as I told you, Prism Central and Prism Element. So how to register your Prism Central, Prism Element after your installation. So see, in Nutanix, we have the different types of version of AOS. AOS application has like Community Edition. Community Edition is used for uh, your home lab, creating your own environment. You can use Community Edition. In the same manner, we have Enterprise AOS that is used for business. That we will be covering different types of AOS version. Okay. Maintenance and cluster model, how to maintaining your cluster day to day, how you can manage all this cluster. We'll be covering life cycle. As I told you, life cycle, it is used to deploy patches on each your virtual machine, your software products, all these things we will be covering. So LCC upgrade is used to troubleshoot, how to use NCC check, how to download, bundle, Prism upgrade, Prism Central, AOS. Uh, we'll be covering this part. So previously we will start from the beginning, like what is the exact architecture of Nutanix, process running behind the Nutanix, what is each component we will cover, and then we will covering VM deployment, storage, networking, health monitoring, a migration, all these things we will be covering. And apart from that, we will be covering cluster deployment on AWS, and cluster deployment on Azure. So how to deploy the cluster in Azure and how you can manage the deployed cluster on Azure in from your Prism Center. So both the thing you can manage centrally, on-premise cluster and your AWS cluster and Azure cluster. You can simply select the virtual machine and you can migrate to the cluster deployed on Azure or cluster deployed on AWS. So this will we will be covering these many session. So it will be like uh, no, one month or mm 6 week course where each weekend I'll be covering. Each weekend we will cover 2 hours session. So in 2 hour, I will go through each and everything about the Nutanix, how to deploy, install, configure, and troubleshoot the Nutanix. Okay, this is the like introduction about the Nutanix. Do you have any question, Prashant?
Yeah, I just wanted to start with Nutanix only. Means, I think if
Hmm.
everyone agrees on that, then you told me that you will be starting with some basics of VMware and all. So I'm not sure.
No, no.
Okay.
See, why I want to cover if somebody does not know what is distributed switches, what is
Okay.
switch,
Okay.
how
Okay.
to
Okay.
manage the
Okay.
switches. Yeah, that is the reason.
Okay. That is no issues. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we will be able to wrap this up in, I think, max 1.5 months, right?
Yeah, 1.5 month will be
You
covered.
can say, yeah, or yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So you need to install your community edition on your laptop. You have laptop, right? 32
I have a
GB RAM.
laptop, but I don't have that much of RAM. Only
Okay.
16 GB of RAM I have. So,
Okay.
yeah. Uh,
Oh, Irshad, Raj here. So, can I install these things on the HP server as well? For the in my laptop, we don't have much configuration, so I can get the server for the testing purpose. So we can install on the community version on the server as well, correct?
Yeah,
That will
you
don't
can
create any
you
problem.
can yeah, yeah, it will not you will not face any problem. But you need to check the compatibility.
Yeah,
If
that
it
is
is
okay.
yeah, if it is very old
Hmm.
like 2010, 2011,
Mm,
so you'll face a lot of
no,
issue.
no,
But
no, it's a
if
new
it
only.
is yeah, so you can install easily.
is it
You
not
just need to
possible
yeah, you
on?
can
Sorry.
you can deploy this Nutanix on your like VMware workstation or uh, uh, like vCenter also you can deploy it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Thanks.
So, on my laptop, 16 GB will not be enough, right?
right. It is
Okay.
yeah, it is not enough. Yeah.
Any other way where how can we can do that? Like, mm, any practical platform where I can use that for my,
Yeah, I
knowledge.
will.
Okay.
I'm trying to install 3 node cluster. I had 1 node cluster.
Okay.
I have one server at my home.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is a Dell. So if it is get set up end of our class,
Mm.
I will give you this access so you can do your practice here itself.
Yeah. Just stop it. How whatever
Yeah,
we are learning, we should have some, practical thing. That's it. That's the only
yeah.
purpose for that. Yeah. Okay.
So, so
So sorry, one more question here. So, like since you have mentioned like since long, like 5 to 6 year, you're in the Nutanix field. So
mhm.
earlier you work in the VMware. So what is your experience on which is the more comfortable and like scenario based or experience like which is the like more suitable? Like when I say the
See,
suitable in the sense like
no, no, no.
issues based.
See, Raj. See, if you're working on VMware, you need to jump in other technology in VMware. Like we have NSX, we have other architecture level. If you're jumping on VMware in other level like NSX or architecture, you'll get the job easily. But if you're
Hmm.
just a VMware admin, so these jobs are getting finished. So it is not used in like in the market because all the customer are migrating from VMware to Nutanix or VMware to Cisco UCS or other product they are migrating. They don't want to use this. Most of the customer are they are migrating to Azure Stack. You might have heard about Azure Stack. This is provided by the Microsoft. They are providing the same kind of storage boxes, the SCI storage boxes. So they are migrating either Azure if they have like subscription, Microsoft subscription and better discount. So most of the company prefer to go to Azure Stack. And if they do not have like mm, most like subscription on Microsoft, they are simply migrating to Nutanix.
Okay.
Because see, charges are too high. In my last company, they purchased some perpetual license, but they they didn't allow them to buy the perpetual, and they have fixed condition that you need to use this VCF, like VMware Cloud Foundation. They are selling the combined product for each and every one, irrespective whether it is a small customer, big customer, middle scale customer. They are selling the same product for each and every one. VCF, you need to buy the VCF.
Yes. Now that's their policy because they are everything they will be combining with VCF only. So
All right.
there will be no single, I think, entity like a vSphere earlier we used to have. So everything will be merged with the VCF. And in order to know VCF, you should know NSX. That's the problem. That's
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Other dependencies are there.
Yeah. And NSX is very, very complicated. So if you are from purely from a networking background, then it's good. I
Yeah.
will not say it cannot be done, but yeah, you should have some networking background for NSX as well. So good understanding of networking, like at least. Yeah,
Yes. But the thing is like a small business, they don't require NSX.
that
They
is
don't
correct.
want.
That
Yeah.
is correct. That is correct. Yeah.
And they think why should we purchase this much amount? Like in last company, they purchased near about $80,000. It is not a joke, $80,000 for just purchasing for 8 node cluster. They
Yeah.
have, yeah, for 8 node cluster they purchase 80,000. So customer are thinking, why should I use this old model, and on top of old model for vCenter only I need to invest $80,000. Instead of that, if I purchase 1,50,000, I'll get 3 node cluster from Nutanix. I'll get the better performance, storage, and license free. Everything I will get from the Nutanix. That is the reason every customer, small scale, middle scale, they are moving to Nutanix.
Yeah,
So
sir.
who is the inventor of SCI actually? I mean, I'm just curious to know this. So who invented the hyperconverged infrastructure concept basically in the market? Are they the Nutanix people or are they VMware or the vSAN people?
No, no, these are not from the vSAN. This is the Indian. I don't remember Sandeep Pandey or something. He
Okay,
is from
okay.
Indian,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, he has invented this product.
Okay,
So
Nutanix
yeah,
concept. Okay,
yeah,
hyperconverged basically. Okay.
Yeah.
hyperconverged basic, and the process are very advanced. inside the Nutanix, all the process like curator, zookeeper, zoos, these are the process are very smart and they interact with each other like AI based process they are running inside the Nutanix. So that is the reason Nutanix become very famous.
Okay, because another famous product that the VxRail is a competitor of this. So the after seeing this, they got the concept. The VMware thought of making VSAN in the market. Is that I can say, is it true or
No, VxRail is not the competitor, exact competitor of Nutanix.
okay, okay,
So yeah, VxRail has its own product. So it is not fully HCI product, VxRail.
okay,
In
okay,
Nut
okay.
yeah, VxRail is same kind of your Cisco UCS.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Isar, like once we complete this training, so we are able to take the exam, or we need to do some other stuff, study, or how, or we need to go
See, I
through
will.
this training for the Nutanix.
Yeah, see, I will provide some dumps. So you need to go to the dumps, and also you need to go through the Nutanix is not a simple thing. So it has too many things to clear the exam. So all the document you need to prepare for. It is like everything. There are too many documents. If you go through like Prism Central, they have listed like 10 page of document for Prism Central only. You need to go through each component, and if you go through each component, then and then only you can clear that Prism Center related question. Likewise, for example, if you have 10 topic, 10 into 10, 100 pages, you need to read carefully 100 pages, right? So then and then only you can clear.
We will be
So
getting the recordings for these, and as well as the you will be providing the documentation or something.
yeah, yeah, each for every topic, I will provide you the document.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
As well as the recordings also will be shared with us, right?
yeah, yeah. Recording also I will share.
Okay, okay.
And if we missed any classes, then how we are going to manage those those missing classes?
Yeah, you can go through recording,
Yeah, recording.
and if you have some doubt, you can ask me separately, or you can call me anytime.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, you should have like a real-time practical uh, session. Then only you will understand what is running in the Nutanix, what is how to check the cluster status, because it is like command based. If the see in Nutanix what happened. So if you do not have issue, if you want to manage, you can manage from the console. Central console, you can do each and everything from the console. Like on vCenter server, you do manage each and everything. When the issue come like cluster down, you are not able to cluster is not pinging. So these kind of issue you need to troubleshoot using the command line. So it is called NCLI. Command line tool is NCLI. Through NCLI, you need to log in inside the cluster and you need to run like Genesis status, cluster status. You need to run those commands and then you can able to troubleshoot those issues. Centrally, you can manage each and everything from the Prism Center. If you like uh, if you want to jump into L1, L2 level, so just go through like what is Prism Central, what is Prism Element, how to manage virtual machine, how to create virtual machine. You can clear easily. You can clear your interview on the basis of Prism Center. But the main difference is in the market they are looking for those who are good in installation, troubleshooting, migration. So these three things you should be able to do by your own. If if you want, if the company has purchased a new box, Nutanix box, you will be able to install those Nutanix AOS. There will be vendor, but you should understand what is Nutanix, what is AOS, what version we are using, what component we are installing, configuring, and in future we should not face any issue. That is the reason company are asking mainly like, do you have experience on Nutanix installation, Nutanix troubleshooting? So those things they are asking mainly in interview. Okay. Do you have any question?
No, not from my side. I don't know.
So, yeah,
Okay.
hi.
Yeah.
So we will cover every Sunday or
Every Saturday, Sunday. Saturday 2 hours, Sunday 2 hours.
okay, 2 days. Okay.
Yeah, 2 days.
The same 8 o'clock, right?
Right.
Evening
Okay.
8 o'clock, correct?
Yeah, evening 8 o'clock.
Evening.
Every day.
Okay. And so what about the lab section? Either we have to take our end or else either lab setup will take us
See,
there.
if you have laptop, you can install, and simultaneously I'm working on installation. So if it complete in 1 or 2 week, I will give you the access.
Okay, if the lab is provided, it's very helpful for us.
Okay, sure. I will. I am working on lab setup. So in a 1 or 2 week, once I set up, I will give you access on that.
Okay. So is there any document that you will provide or else
Yeah, I will provide you each and every document.
every day?
You need to,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you understand the concept clearly, you will easily clear the interview. Because every Nutanix interview, what they are asking, do you know Prism Central? Do you know how
Mm-hmm.
to install? What is
Yes.
how many processes running in the Nutanix? Oh, what
Okay.
is target? What is zookeeper? All these questions they are asking. So similar way, if I give you 50 question, if I give you, and if you remember perfectly 50 question, you will easily clear any Nutanix interview.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be great. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I will provide you the like interview question also. We will cover the interview question, and I will provide you the dumps which I purchased near about like 6 months before.
Okay.
So those dumps I will share with you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what version Nutanix we are going to use? Sorry, what you mentioned that OS we are going to use here? AOS
6.8.
6.5. Okay.
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after this, we are able to migrate the VMs. I mean, so VS pair from the EXI to the Nutanix, correct? So I mean to say like,
Right. So for each every activity, you need to install a different tool. To do this
Okay.
activity, like we have Nutanix move tool. Using Nutanix move tool, you can migrate virtual machine from
Everything.
ESXi to AHV, AHV to ESXi, vice versa.
yeah, because I mean to say in our future goals to move from the EXIs to sorry VMware to Nutanix. That's the reason I'm looking for this
Yeah.
training.
Yeah, definitely we will cover those things.
Yeah. So we recently moved from vSphere to Nutanix.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So through the CX only we moved, migrated everything.
SCX tool is used for like migrating from VMware to VMware, right? It
Yeah.
is not used
So
for it.
actually our environment how we are using, so top in down
Okay.
HP hardware, in the top of the AOS, in the top of the we install that EXA.
Okay.
Okay.
Satish, one person. Are you from Hyderabad or
Chennai.
Chennai? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Fine, then that's it for today's class. So
Okay.
next week, so we will start the class from the next week Saturday at 8 p.m.
And so one last question for this fee and all those things. Who will share those details?
Yeah, you can share all this detail with this guy Amit.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks
you.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.